What's up, guys? This is Mallory here, and I am joined by Eric and Josh. What's up, guys?
Hey, Mal.
Hey,
How are
how's it
you?
going?
How are you
Doing
guys doing?
doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm really excited for. Oh man, I'm hearing like a huge delay. But anyway. Oh, hold on. I gotta pause
You might have the screen, the actual what?
the other video. So, if you're joining us and you're just watching this, I'm still hearing myself. I gotta pause the other video. I do have the watching screen on. Okay, that's better. I was like hearing me like 10 seconds later.
Yeah.
So, hey, my name is Mallory. I am super excited for tonight because if you're watching this for the first time and you've never really, you were brought here by one of the leaders on the screen. This is the Live the Movie Crew weekly team hangout, and Eric is actually the founder and creator of the Live the Movie Crew. And I'm excited because what we do, what we gather together for on these calls every week is just to share exciting ideas about personal development and growth and, in all areas of life. So, sometimes we talk about finances, sometimes we talk about, growing in your personal life, sometimes we talk about things that relate to fitness or work goals and things like that. So tonight's call I'm really excited about because I'm going to be talking about mindset. And the name of the call and my talk is Mindset to Momentum. But before I get to any of that, I wanted to kind of introduce the founder of it all, the leader of our crew, who is Eric Sachetta. I know he's going to go over a few things tonight with us that some income opportunity for us. So, Eric, if you want to take it away for a couple minutes now, and then we will get to, I have a little bit prepared for recognition, and then we'll get to the mindset to momentum speech or a talk that I have prepared for you guys.
Cool. Well, thank you, Mal. I'm excited to be on the call and have you lead it. We've obviously been doing these calls for a long time, but this is our first one that is a part of our official Platinum membership, which is our group that the people on the screen. There's a few others that are a part of, and it's a team we're looking to grow. And it's a lot of the stuff Mallory mentioned, talking about personal growth, personal development, travel, culture. Really learning to expand your capacity and expand what you believe is possible for yourself and others. So I'm going to share a few things that at the moment might only apply to the people on the screen, but as you're listening to myself and then as you're listening to Mallory, you might not understand everything we're talking about or how it makes sense, but just listen from the standpoint of, wow, does this sound cool? Does this sound like a group I'd want to be a part of? Because you're going to hear Mallory talk about recognition. I'm going to actually, in a second, talk about our spreadsheet that we have for our group where we go through our program. We call it a ticket program, and I'll explain what that is in a second. I'm also going to explain for the people that are involved, we made a little adjustment to our pricing for the people that are already joined. So you might not understand that, but that's not a big deal. And then I'm going to talk about a couple other little tidbit opportunities that we have that would be available to you if you decide to officially join our team. But sit back, relax, and we'll get to some of the stuff we have here. So what I'm going to do is share my screen for a second here. All right. So if you see this. Can you guys, can you see this? Can you see my, can you see the spreadsheet?
Yes.
All right, cool. So this is our ticket program. Basically, we have the theme of a movie as our team, Live the Movie. As seeing everyone's life as a movie, and you're the protagonist, and you go through challenges and tough times, but you overcome them, and from that, you become the person you were meant to be, because that's what really life's all about, who you become and what you contribute when you're here. Everything else is kind of a byproduct of that. So we came up with the idea of a ticket program, and what it really is all about is the concept of a lot of us read books and listen to audio tapes, so we do it casually, and we'd say, oh yeah, look at me, I listened to 5 audio tapes, or I read 50 books this year, and that's awesome. A lot of people I know who have done those things have been very successful because of it, but a lot of times people get addicted just to the idea of learning and continued learning without implementing. So I wanted to make a program where we could actually track our progress in different areas that are really important and give ourselves goals and give ourselves rewards for doing it. And like I said, the real reward is who you become in the process, but what you also get out of it is you grow and you hit goals. So here's the people that are already joined our group here so far, and we just got started. Here's our book club. And I didn't finish filling out all the books, but we have our books down here for the next few months. We have all the people's names and some of the points that we have here. So there's different points values based on different things, and I'm going to make it into a formula. So basically, this number will equal the totals from each of these different pages. But basically, we have different sections. The first is our book club. We had a pre-book that Anne-Marie read and I read, and now we're reading this book, The 5 Keys. I don't think that's the right title. Mallory can share what the right title is in a second. But then we have our next few books listed there. So basically, we read 1 book a month. The idea is you get some points for reading the book. You get more points for actually being the leader. So Mallory's going to get some points for leading the book this month. But the most amount of points come for actually implementing an idea that the leader says for us to do based on reading the book, because the whole objective is to use what we learn, rather than just continued learning all the time. So an example would be you'd rather read 12 books in a year and implement the ideas from those 12 than read 50 books. And since we're doing once a month, what will probably happen is everyone will read a lot more than 12 books, but for our team, we're focused on 12. Here are some of the goals that people have. So what everybody did was, for the goals section, they picked one goal. Oh, I think this kept adding ones to yours, Josh. I don't know why I did this, but basically it added one application each month. But so I can adjust this, or anyone can go adjust this that's in our group. But basically, we each picked one big goal for the year, and we broke it down to the number of steps that we want. Josh's is a lot more steps than this, but I kind of just started it, and people can kind of build it out as we go. Other people can edit it. The reason I actually put in the progress that I'm making and Meg's making on our goal, and you guys can if you want on your goal, it's up to you, is because it's not actually a competition. If you actually see it as Anne-Marie and Mallory have the same goal as me and Meg, but it's completely different numbers. So we're not actually competing against each other, we're competing against our goals. So the reason I want to put this in here is just to show the other people in the group, hey, we're making progress towards our goal. It's like, okay, well, how much am I making progress towards my goal? So me and Mallory are in the competition, and I'm not in the competition with Anne-Marie because we all make different money and have different goals and all that stuff. But again, it's up to you guys if you want to put your stats in here, but I just do it as a way of saying, instead of saying, like I said, Anne-Marie's goal is way bigger than mine, so I'm not competing against Anne-Marie, but I am competing against making the same progress as people. So if I see Anne-Marie's making a bunch of progress, like, all right, maybe I got to pick my game up towards my goal, not necessarily to pass her on her goal, if that makes sense. We have a community service section. We're still trying to decide exactly how we want that to count, but we're working on that. We have a Pay It Forward program where we'll add points for people joining our team. So if you were to join, the leader who sent you here would end up getting some points. And then we also have points for people speaking. So right now we have it set at 20 points, so everybody got 20 points. I just have to, like I said, put the equation together to get it back to this one to have it all add up, but everybody who spoke at the event got 20 points. So technically everyone has either 20 or 21 points right now. I just gotta have it work out. So that's the sheet. And for those of you guys, let me unscreen share for a second. Let's see. There we go. All right. So did you guys get the actual did you guys get the email or whatever to be able to go on the sheet? Did you guys get it?
When did you send it?
I sent it to you and Anne-Marie a long time ago, and then I
know
sent
I have it then, because I think I've opened it.
And then I sent it to Josh like maybe 5 or 6 days ago or a couple days ago.
Yeah, I think I've seen it. I think I've been able to go in there. I haven't done anything to it yet.
Yeah, it's fine. So it's you know, you guys can look at it. You also can edit it. So if you think something's wrong or you want to change the way it looks, you guys have the ability to do that. So I just wanted to show that to you since we're on the screen and make sure everyone can see what we're doing. So a couple more things that I wanted to show you guys, and this is just a couple things. Let me see. Let me go back to screen share. One sec here. Let's see. There we go. One thing, and again, this is not something that you guys have to do, but just something interesting is I showed you guys that app, Capital app, which is one of the savings apps. So what's cool is today Meg's first deposit went through, so I got $5 and she got $5. So that's $10 more to our financial goal. So it's just little ways that you can make money. And I think it messaged me today and said I already saved $50 towards one of my goals just using the app. And I've recommended different apps before. The cool one about this is you get to pick what the goals are. So we have one for retirement savings for our trip that we're going on next May to some of the national parks, and then I made one for another trip that we may be going on to Italy next the end of next year. So I can't go if you don't have money for it, so we set those up. So I sent you guys the link. If you're interested in doing that and you want to sign up and you don't have the link anymore, I can send it to you again. If you're not interested, that's okay too, but again, we're always looking for more ways that you guys can improve what you're doing, save money, especially since most of you have that as one of your goals. And then this here is Digital Altitude. Those of you guys that join our team, you'll have a chance to use my referral link and actually earn commissions when you have people join. So this is this. I'm going to actually do a separate Hangout and just pick a time, and if people can join me, that's great. Otherwise, I'll just host it on a page and kind of go into more details about what Digital Altitude is and more specifics on how to get started. And one of the things that you guys can do, and I can actually, if anyone decides to actually do this, I can add another sheet here to this one. Because basically what I would do is if anyone decided they wanted to do it, obviously I'd keep track of your earnings based on that, and then instead of sending you money and then having you send me back money for other things, one of the things that we can do is I can put in, like, let's say Mallory, had whatever it was. Let's say I know how much someone makes when you do a monthly charge. So let's say this was, Mallory got 10 people to sign up, and then if you just did what our monthly charge is going to be for our group minus that, then this would be how much money, so then this would be the column to look at to say, okay, or let's say September or something. So say, okay, well, instead of the full monthly payment for our group next month, a Mallory can just send me this, and then once it's over that, I can just send her the money. Because one of the things I can do is, like I said, I can send you guys the money right when I get it if you want it to use for other things, but it gets kind of confusing if you're like, go spend it on something else, and then you have to pay for our group. So that's just an example. You guys can let me know if you'd want to be on the Hangout or you'd want to do that. So the last thing I want to share, I don't want to take up too much time because it's Mallory's call, but I figured we want to make sure that, let me get out of screen share again. Let's see, am I out of it yet? No? Let's see. Yes, I am. All right. But one of the things I want to make sure to do is, because we're right now, just meeting for an hour once a week, I want to make sure the things that we're focused on, I get out there, because, if anyone was interested in any of those things and then we don't talk about it, then of course it goes on for weeks and weeks and weeks. But one of the things that I decided to do is to change our monthly charge from $300 to $250, because we are doing some of our masterminds at people's houses, so there's not going to be the hotel costs and all that stuff. So we wanted to make sure there's still real value in our group, but not get unnecessary payments for things that really would just go to someone else other than money to fund our group. So I know I talked to Josh individually, and we worked something out for that. And I still need to kind of talk to everyone each individually about what they're doing, but we are making it a little bit lower as well, just to accommodate what we're doing. I will send you guys that are used to. Sorry, this app keeps going. I will send you guys the link to the 250 page to get your payment in for this month. For those of you who are on the first of the month payment, I will say that since I didn't talk about it or anything like that, if you guys could get it in by Friday, that would be awesome, which would be the 5th, because just to keep us on track for what we're doing. But I didn't hold anybody till today because I didn't mention it, and I also wanted to change the pricing around as well. So I'll resend you guys the 250 link, and then I'll try to have conversations with each of you guys within the next day or so, just to your individual situation, just because some people have paid in different amounts of money so far. So not to take up too much time, that's the last thing I had. I know there's a lot of like bookkeeping and little things like that, but that was important for those of you in the group. I know some of you watching that might not understand what we're talking about, but want to get that out of the way. But I'm excited to hear what Mallory has to share. And like I said, any of you guys already on our team, if you have any questions about any of the things I mentioned or how it works, definitely send me a message and let me know.
Yeah, thanks, Eric. I know that some of that stuff, like you said, doesn't really make sense to somebody watching this for the first time. But that's okay, because we're gonna go over some really exciting stuff that we're here to teach. We're here to add value to you, and add value to each other. So if at any point during the call, Josh or Eric, if you guys think of something, write it down, and I'll probably stop at some points to see if you have anything to add. So just keep that in mind as you're listening and watching. But Eric mentioned briefly a little bit about the Live the Movie crew. So one of the goals of our crew is just to, be accountability buddies for each other in a way, where if you haven't heard of the term accountability buddy, it's just somebody it's a buddy who holds you accountable for things. Because sometimes that's all we really need in life, and the Live the Movie part of it, that all started with Eric's idea of living a life that you would want to be remembered for, and to be able to impact other people around you, and just by impacting one other person, potentially impacting one other person and one other person, until you impact a lot more people than just your initial point of contact. So it's just really cool to think about making small steps in the right direction with a crew of people who are like-minded and have a vision for their life and goals that they also want to achieve. So the Live the Movie crew is about that, living your life as if you're living a movie and making every day count, really. So the structure of the call tonight, I wanted to start out with a little bit of, so now that we got like the whatever you call it, bookkeeping, that's not what you call it, that stuff out of the way, I wanted to jump in to do some recognition, and we'll do this every week, so we'll do some recognition. Then I want to dive into the talk that I prepared about mindset and how to build momentum using the right mindset. And then we'll finish up the call with any questions that you guys on the screen might have. And I'll send you to a link. Probably Eric will put a button on the bottom of the page where you can check out our Platinum membership. So if what you hear on this call is something that you're like, hey, I got to be a part of this. This is going to hold me accountable for certain things that I have goals in my life about, and you want to join our team, that button will be below. So we'll point you in that direction at the end if you like what you hear. So jumping back to recognition, and the first thing I want to recognize you guys for who are on the screen is for joining us at the mastermind that we just had last weekend. And when I say last weekend, I mean 2 Saturdays ago or 2 Fridays ago. And the mastermind was phenomenal in my eyes, because I had a couple breakthroughs at the mastermind, and one of them was actually about mindset, which is what I'm going to talk about tonight. But it's just such a great reminder to get together with like-minded people who are really motivated to to hit their goals, and they have goals set in their life that are really specific, and it's just to get around those types of people and to get around you guys is just a phenomenal experience. And the fact that you guys just showed up and brought your best is something to be recognized for. And Anne-Marie, I'll give a shout out to her too. She was at the mastermind. She also went above and beyond and read this book called The Singularity is Near, which is, part of what we'll talk about tonight is our book club that we're starting every month. And that was kind of the initial book for the book club, and it was just a really, really long book, for one thing, but it was also really hard to get through. It was a lot of statistics and things like that. I didn't even start to read it, and Eric, mentioned to me that it was really difficult, and he didn't expect anyone to even begin to read it at the mastermind, but she's like, oh yeah, I read it and I got the audio. So a big shout out to Anne-Marie. I know she couldn't make it tonight for tonight's call. Maybe she'll even hop on, who knows. But just wanted to recognize you guys for being a part of this crew, because it's one thing to say you're going to do something, but it's another thing to actually, get on these calls and be involved in a group of people and actually take action towards your goals. So congratulations to you guys for that. I'm excited for you. So on to my talk. I'm so excited. Mindset to Momentum is the title of my talk. So if you want to write down my Mindset to Momentum. And we all have, I've mentioned this before a couple times, we all have different goals that we want to achieve in life, and sometimes goals are only really thoughts and wishes and in our minds until we actually make a point to list out action steps and actually start implementing them. So it's one thing to actually set a goal, it's another thing to actually take action towards achieving it. So, and that has to do with your mindset. And I'll give an example of what I mean by mindset related to a goal in just a second. But we decided to read the book, The 5 Major Pieces to the Life Puzzle. It's by Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N. So it's the 5 major pieces to the life puzzle. The reason we didn't require anything, the people on the call to have read any part of the book yet is because A, it was only a week ago that we decided to pick this book, and B, I think it's also really important to get our mindset in the right state before we actually start to read the book. So it's kind of cool that we have this one kind of open-ended hangout that I get to run before we actually dive into the book. Because before we even decide, to read a book, we got to decide, are we going to learn something from it? Because if you go into reading a book and you say, yeah, I'll just read the book, I'll see if I get something out of it, chances are you probably won't. But if you go in and you start to read a book and you're like, I'm going to get 1 or 2 things out of this book and I'm going to implement them right away, and you have that mindset already in your, in the back of your head when you start to read the book, you're just going to be more successful with the things that the book teaches you. So you'll absorb it a lot better. So it's a great way to kind of kick off this book club that we have as part of the Platinum membership. So the example that I have is when you're setting a goal and you want to have the right mindset for something. Imagine that you are about to play in a championship game. It doesn't matter if it's baseball or soccer or basketball. It could even be chess. It doesn't really matter what the game is. But if you go and you're about to play in this championship game and your mind is, and you're telling yourself over and over and over, I don't think I'm going to win. I'm probably going to lose this game. What do you think is going to happen? You're probably going to lose because your mindset is just in a negative state. So the whole key to mindset is to bring yourself into a state of mind where you're positive and you can actually visualize the outcome that you want to achieve. So if you go into that same championship chess game, I don't know why I chose chess. I like chess, I guess. But if you go in and you say, I'm going to win this chess match, I don't care what move my opponent has, I'm going to find a way to win, and I'm going to win this championship. And chances are, I'm probably going to win. And yeah, maybe I won't, but if I go in thinking that way, I'm already anticipating the opponent's moves and thinking of how I can positively counteract those moves instead of coming at it with a loser's mindset of already having lost the game. So that's the whole key to going into something and a goal that you have, going into it with a positive mindset. So I actually have I wrote down 4 steps to setting your positive mindset. And this is kind of a daily activity that you can do, which is something I actually learned from one of the leaders in the online industry. Her name's Rhonda Swan. A couple of these things she was teaching. So number 1 step to setting your positive mindset is writing down daily intentions. And sometimes I'll do this the night before, right before I go to bed, because a lot of times I'll have a lot of things on my mind of the things I want to do the next day, and I'll go to bed and be a little bit restless before I go to sleep because I have things on my mind for the next day. But if I set my daily intentions and I actually write them down the night before, I get a much better night's sleep and I wake up ready to go. So it can either be done the night before, which is when I like to do that, but it can also be done the morning of, like just getting up, grabbing a journal. That's the first thing you do, is writing down, these are the 3 things I want to accomplish today. And it could be something as simple, it could be like a tangible thing, like I want to, I don't know, do laundry today, like do a little of laundry today, or it could be something along the lines of, I want to start the day with curiosity in mind and a positive mindset, because when you go to and enter a day with a curiosity in mind, it keeps your mind open to opportunities that you might not be aware of if you hadn't had that mindset in the beginning of the day. So like I said, they can be tangible, they can be something that's intangible, just a feeling that you want, or the way that you want to approach your day in a positive way. It could be something like that. But I encourage you to just write down your daily intentions, at least 3 daily intentions you want to write down at night or in the morning, first thing, right when you wake up, because that can really set the tone for your entire day. Because imagine waking up and just kind of going through the motions, and all of a sudden it's bedtime again, and you're like, well, what did I really get done today? And you feel kind of discouraged, and then you go into the next day the same way. You're not really getting the momentum going with your goals. So if you start to write down your intentions and you're actually excited to get out of the bed in the morning, that's when you start to see momentum in your action steps. And it doesn't necessarily mean you see momentum with your results yet, because some of the goals that you set, you don't see results right away. But it's all about being consistent with setting your mindset and your tone for the day right when you wake up in the morning. The second step to setting your positive mindset for the day is visualization. And I think visualization is so important, because I don't know who said this originally, but it's always something that I revert back to, is the mind can't tell the difference between thinking about doing something and actually doing it. So if that's the case, then why not visualize yourself accomplishing a goal that you have ahead of time, so that you already are in this state of victory and accomplishment and positivity, and then go after your day, and then go after the action steps that it's going to take to get to that goal, because you're just going to get there a heck of a lot faster and with a lot more positive energy too. So visualization, with this I like to use meditation, just a breathing exercise for anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes. 1 to 5 minutes, that's all it takes every day. And the beauty of that is it, you're able to kind of calm your mind and get rid of any distractions. And if you're wondering, about meditation or anything like that, just Google it. There's so much information on the internet. I read an article, I think it was called Meditation for Beginners or something like that, and it was like the 5 steps to starting meditation on your own. And it's so simple. It's something that you can implement anywhere, any time of the day. Even if you're at work, at lunchtime, in the middle of the day, go out to your car, turn the AC on, have no distractions, and just close your eyes and breathe. Focus on your breath, and any thought that comes into your mind, breathe it out. And really, meditate on something and visualize something that you want to achieve for even that day, or maybe, in 5 days, or maybe in a year. Visualizing, the positive visualization of achieving your goal already is setting yourself up for success, because, like I said, your mind can't tell the difference between thinking about doing something and actually doing it. So I'm going to stop here for a couple seconds and see if Eric or Josh, just based on the 2 steps to setting your positive mindset, the writing down your daily intentions and the visualization, if you guys have anything that you can think of to add to those 2 steps so far.
Were you gonna say something, Josh?
No, I don't have anything at the moment that
All
I
right.
can bring to mind.
All right. So I wrote down a couple of things. Those are two awesome steps. One of the things I wrote down with your first step with writing down your daily intentions is I wrote down proactive versus reactive. Most people, most people have good days and bad days, but their good days and bad days are based on things out of their control going well or things out of their control not going well. And without getting too much into psychology and medical, all this stuff, I was just thinking about this. I was thinking, one of the reasons people have these high highs and low lows is actually a lot of times because they don't set their intentions. They're very reactive, and you actually get euphorically excited for a short period of time when, let's say you don't give any effort and something goes right. You're kind of like, oh my God, this is amazing. I didn't have to do anything, and like all this awesome stuff happened. But then that goes completely the other direction when either you do give a ton of effort or you don't change anything, and all these things go wrong. So when you set your intentions and then you're proactive, you're not letting the different things in your day decide how you're going to feel about it. You decide based on what you do, and obviously visualization plays a big role in that. So those are two awesome points and definitely some great reminders.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's great.
uh,
Josh, you want to add something?
I think these are a couple of things that I have a lot of trouble in terms of just, kind of, I guess, mentally prepared for every day and just making sure that I keep a level head and a positive attitude. I think these two things are something that can kind of help. I've just had a level implementing them in the past. So,
Yeah, and that's what I love about these calls too, is that it's just a great reminder to implement these things daily. And sometimes you do need the weekly reminder to do something that you say, for a long time I told myself I want to start meditating, I want to start meditating, I want to start meditating, and it just didn't happen. And then finally one day I was like, you know what, I'm going to decide to do this, and I'm going to actually start doing it. And once I started implementing that, and my group held me accountable for that, that was when I started to really get the benefits of the meditation and the visualization. So it's really cool to think about the things that you could improve on a simple hangout like this, and then just go do it for the week, and then come back and kind of, establish where you are and be like, okay, I did it this week, I'm going to keep doing it next week, and then follow up with you guys then. So it's really cool to hold each other accountable for these different things that we want to achieve. The third step to setting your positive mindset is to set your energy level, so your physical energy level, because a lot of what we do during the day, we're just in such a sedentary position with our bodies. So we sit in front of a computer all day, hunched over, staring at a screen. It's just not a good energy level that you're giving yourself. So it's in the morning, it's so important too, just to after laying down and sleeping for 6 to 8 hours or however long you sleep at night, that long where your body is not moving, you gotta get your body moving and blood pumping, because your mind is still kind of in a fog or a haze. At least I know my mind is in the morning. But you're just in this fog in the morning, and if you try to make any decisions that are major, or try to start doing something right away without getting that energy to a really peak level physically, it's just not going to be a good situation. So getting the blood pumping. Sometimes I'll just stop if I'm like getting frustrated with something that I'm doing on the computer, or if this is a great example is actually when I'm doing a painting. So I'm not really moving around a lot. I might step back a little bit, look at the painting for a little while. But sometimes I'll paint for like an hour and a half, and I won't even realize that I haven't really moved at all in an hour and a half. I'm like, holy crap, I'm getting frustrated. The strokes that I'm making just aren't right. So I have to leave, and I go do 5 jumping jacks, and then I just like run in place for a little while. And one of the things my sister taught me is to cross your center line, because it gets your blood flowing to your extremities a little bit better. So that's one tip that's kind of cool. But just getting the blood flowing somehow is just so important. And then I come back to the painting, and I'm like, oh, I actually like the painting again. So it's kind of cool to be able to set your energy level anytime you want to. Just get up and move and jump around, and that's a really huge. It can boost your energy into a more positive state, and so quick. It takes like 5 minutes, if that, to get when you get your blood pumping and you feel better. Like I feel so much better when after I've been moving around and my heart's beating faster, and I know that, I can make better decisions. My mind just feels sharper when I get the blood pumping. So setting your energy level is step 3. It's so important. The last step is it has to do with mindset too, but I think it just has to do with setting yourself up for success for that day. But it's this concept called the 4th step is eat the frog for the day. And what eat the frog means is whatever to do you have or task that you have to get done, whether it be for work or for your personal life, or I'll use the example of working out because I don't necessarily enjoy the act of working out, but I really enjoy how I feel after I work out. So that's my frog that I eat every day first thing, because if I don't work out in the morning and then start my day with that, that thing that I didn't really want to do, having already done it, if I don't start my day out like that, I just am like thinking about it all day, and it's just getting me down. I'm like, oh, I still have to work out, and it's just I feel sluggish. So eating the frog, it could be working out, or it could be something that you just don't. It's just like this daunting task that you've been thinking about for a long time. Just do it. Just get it done. Eat the frog. Get it out of the way, because once you get that out of the way, your whole to-do list or your daily intentions that you already set for yourself, you're going to cross those off so fast once you get that big frog out of the way. So eat your frog. Once you've written down your daily intentions, visualize your day, and set your energy level for the day, eat the frog, and then you will be so amazed at how much you'll get done for the day. And also the things that it's funny because when your mind is in a really positive state and you've accomplished a couple things on your daily intentions list and your to-do list, and you've gotten through all these 4 steps, the visualization, the setting your energy level throughout the day, it's really important, and you've eaten the frog for the day, and you're like, oh, well, I really want to do this now. And you just start thinking of new things that you want to accomplish every day, and you start setting new goals and pushing yourself to a new level, which is the whole beauty of a group like this, is we get to push each other to new levels in our life that we didn't really know that we could accomplish without being a part of something where minds can get together and really get feedback from each other and help each other along the process. So that's basically the 4 steps, mindset to momentum. Do you guys have anything else that you want to share before I wrap up the call here?
Well, as you were saying, what was it, the eat the frog thing? Kind of clicked back in my head just to remember that one of the college tips of the day that I think I gave a while back was to that whatever you do first in a day tends to shape how your day goes. So if you do something really productive in the beginning of the day, chances are your days are very productive. And if you do something lazy in the beginning of the day, chances are your days going to be very lazy. So
that's a great way to put it. That's awesome.
Cool. Yeah, that's a great point, Josh. That sets your intentions. Basically all the points are kind of set by what you're saying. One of the things that people don't really mention a lot of times is, and I haven't actually mentioned it all that much, is, when you talk to someone and you intellectually say to them, you really shouldn't be afraid of that. You should just go after that. And you're trying to have an intellectual, head-to-head conversation. But the thing is, fear is actually physical. If you keep telling yourself the same thing over and over and you attach it to your nervous system, there's a physical fear to it. So someone knows they should very easily make that phone call or walk up to that person they want to meet or do all this stuff, but there's actually a physical fear there. When you do what you talk about in all the steps, but especially in step 3, when you set your energy level, that all changes. When you go to any type of personal development event, whether it's, each of us on the screen worked for the same sales company in the past, Vector and Cutco, or you go to a Tony Robbins or a Brendan Bouchard or any of those guys, one of the things they'll do is they'll get you there'll be talks, but in between they got you jumping up and down and doing all this stuff. They have you, hey, go meet 5 people, give them hugs. And when you don't hesitate and you just do stuff without thinking, all those fears start to go away, and your body doesn't have to feel afraid to do some of those things. And then if you can take that into your daily life, things change. So setting your energy level is so important, and if you can attach it to the other things that were mentioned, that's where things can really change for you. I mean, if you kind of look at what a lot of leaders do, they do those things all in one, right? So they might exercise in the morning. That might be their thing they really don't want to do. While doing it, they set their intentions for the day, and they actually speak out loud with emotion while they're moving, all this stuff. And you think about, if you exercise and do all this stuff for a half hour, 45 minutes, like, think about the presence that you have, the excitement that you have, and then you can go attack your day. So those are awesome points.
Yeah, that's great. It's I mean, our minds are so powerful, and like Eric was talking about, how fear is attached to our nervous system, and it's actually a physical feeling that we feel when we have this thought in our mind sometimes. And if we can switch that around just by setting our intentions and visualizing a positive outcome, and it's something as simple as making a phone call that you don't want to make can make you physically feel like clammed up. I remember the first time I ever had to make a phone call that was completely cold to somebody that I wanted to set up a presentation with for Cutco. I physically started shaking, like my body just started shaking, and it was a physical thing for me. And once I got through that and just, like I said, eat the frog, you just make the phone call and realize, okay, it's the worst thing that can happen on the phone is they reject you or they say no. The best thing, though, is that you actually get the outcome that you wanted, which at that time was to set a presentation with the person. So it's kind of funny how much pressure we put onto one simple thing, that if we just do it, get it over with, and then set the right, mindset about that thing for the future, that's, you can make changes in your life and start doing things that you didn't think you could do before, just based on that simple concept of just getting after it and setting your energy level while you're doing it. So that's a great point, Eric. One thing I wanted to mention about the book that we're about to read, the five major puzzle pieces to the life puzzle by Jim Rohn. If you want to purchase the book and start, join our book club and start reading along with us every week, we're going to dive in for the month of August to that book and really start to implement some of the keys that we learned from the book. If you don't want to purchase the book, it might even be available at your local library. If you have a library in your area and you have a library card, there's this really cool app that you can get. I have an Android, but I'm pretty sure it's available for iPhone too. But it's called OneDrive, ONEDRIVE, OneDrive. And you go on this app, and you basically are able to find your local library and enter your library card, so you kind of have digital access to your own local library, which is phenomenal, because then you can have books right on your phone. If you actually do want to purchase the book, to have like a physical copy of it that you're able to like highlight and take some notes on it, that's fine too. But if anything of what you learned tonight added some value to your day-to-day life, and you're watching this video and you're like, this would be kind of a cool group to be a part of, I really encourage you to, if you have questions, to reach out to any of the leaders that you see, either myself, Eric, or Josh, who sent you here. And we'd love to have you part of the team. We'd love to have you join the Platinum membership to start to mastermind with us and really start, like I said before, start taking your life to the next level and really living the movie that you envision your life being. And the coolest part about a team and a group and a crew like this is that we're gonna start hitting goals. And I can't, we really just started these hangouts for the Platinum membership, like Eric said. This is actually our first ever hangout for the Platinum membership. But what I'm most excited about is that in 6 months from now, or even a year from now, the progress that all of us are going to make in a short period of time, we're not even going to be able to anticipate the progress that we're going to make at this point, because it's going to be so tremendous. Like, we're going to look back a year from now and be like, I couldn't imagine myself here at this moment where I am today. And if it weren't for this Platinum membership, and this live the movie crew that I was a part of, I wouldn't have got there, because sometimes that's all it takes is somebody else to believe in you for a short time, and still until slowly you start to believe in yourself and believe greatness is possible for you too, and then you actually start taking action and doing some things that you never thought were possible for yourself, which is really cool. So if you're thinking about, if you found this video from somebody that sent you here and you're like, hey, this is really what I need right now, I encourage you to reach out or even click the button below and join our Platinum membership right now, because opportunities like this don't come very often, and groups like this are pretty rare too, unless you're already a part of a bigger group. But this close-knit community that we have is just really phenomenal. We're really excited to be part of it together, and that's basically what I have to share. So if you guys have anything to add before we say goodnight, I don't know if I missed anything, Eric, but yeah,
No,
that's all I got.
that was awesome. If you just dropped the mic and walked away, then it would have been fine. One thing I wanted to add was that exactly what Mallory said. Maybe a group like this is just what you need, and that's all. Because one of the things I was thinking about today was I'm actually implementing all the ideas that I have to hit my yearly goal. I set it up so it would be broken up into quarters, and it's a financial goal. And I did all the things that I said I was going to do, but I'm not going to hit it based on what I'm doing. What's interesting, though, is over the last couple of days, I've been thinking of all these different things of how I would hit my goal, because I started to say, well, I know I'm not going to hit it if I just keep doing what I'm doing, and I have to hit it because I'm the leader of the group. So it's like this reverse, accountability thing like we were talking about. And it was funny because some of the things that I was looking into to try to hit the goal weren't even on my radar until I came up with the goal. And then once they did that, I was like, I have to hit it, so I have to do this. And as my mentor and many people's mentors, Tony Robbins says, if you want to get something done, make it a must and not a should. And that's what a group does for you, is it takes your should and makes them must, because you commit to it and the group holds you accountable of it. And for me, I was reading books and listening to audio tapes, and we had our team and stuff, but to actually have a physical, spreadsheet and a team and a group with our goals written out and tracking progress and all that stuff, that was the one piece that was missing for me. And now that we have it, it's worth the time and investment in our group. So that I just want to say what a benefit it's been for me, and we only just started, and then everything Mallory just said is the rest of it.
Yeah, no, that's great. I'm so excited. Josh, you got anything left to say?
I am speechless. I can't add anything else.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you guys joining me on the call tonight. I had a great time. I don't know about you guys, but
It was awesome.
it was great. So we hold this call every week. If you're watching this and you want to keep joining us and keep just watching from afar for now until you actually make the decision to jump in, we do this call Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll see you guys next week. I'm so excited. Have a great night.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
See
See
ya.
ya.